everybody, hello or welcome back to my channel. My name is Ruth Venom. I hope you guys are having an amazing day and amazing week so far. Yay! We are kind of starting off May. I'm really excited. I'm kind of like stepping into like a new phase in my life. I don't know, like I'm making changes in my life where, you know, I want to be able to be home with my kid more because I've been working a lot, and I think, you know, when they're young, you should, you know, kind of spend more time with them, because when they get older, they obviously, a lot of teenagers don't want to spend time with their mother. So I really want to be able to like cherish that a whole lot. So I don't know, I'm doing some tweaks to my life. I think I'm gonna go back into right now part-time reselling, just so when I'm making a profit, you know, I'm just doing a lot. I'm just trying to get my shit together. I'm just trying to get my shit together, okay? Like, that's what I'm trying to do in my life. I would love to hear if you guys are, you know, making new changes in your life also, or are you just going with the flow, or are you thinking about it? I'd love to hear. You know, it's always good, especially since it is, you know, mental health month. Sometimes you do just have to make changes in your life, or, you know, it doesn't have to be with job. It can be like making healthier decisions and all of that. But I'd love to hear, and, you know, just taking care of yourself. Since COVID, I think people, if you're like ever in like the hospitality or in the food industry, or like any part of like serving, cooking, or just anything to deal with people, I have noticed people are being more shitty, and they're more rude than before, and I don't know, it's really hard sometimes. Anywho, to bring some lightness to some of your days, we are going to be doing another Zodiac fun makeup. This is going to be the Egirl Edition, so I really hope you guys like it, but let's get to it. Alright, so I got my eyebrows done and my eye base on. We are going to do a sharp edge look for this, so I put some tape for guidelines. If you're like me and you can't do like sharp edges for like the life to save you, that's what I do. So to start off with this look, we are going to be using the Morphe palette, Lucky Charms. The last green look I used, I mostly use my Jeffree Star Blood Money, but I wanted to use something different this time, and the palette that I have the most greens is also the Lucky Charms, so that's what I'm going to use. So for the first shade we are going to put down, it's going to be Clovers, which is right here. It's kind of like, let's face it, it looks kind of like a baby poopy green. There's really no way to really other describe it, but I'm going to go ahead and grab a round end medium-sized fluffy brush, get some just like this on my brush, and we are going to start with this side right here. And I don't want the whole eye to really be in this color. I want this to be more on top and in a selective area. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of pat it down just like this. Bring it down. We're going to be doing kind of like a different style with this, a little bit similar to the Easter e-girl look, but a little bit different. So I think I want this shade to kind of cut off right here, but kind of go into the inner a little bit. And we are going to make sure we have the color down, and I want it up, but not all the way up to my eyebrows. So I think this is where we're gonna keep it a little bit at, just like this. And we are gonna be putting a shade underneath it, so I just want to get this part all done before we step up to the next. But you can definitely see, you know, it's not too dark and not too bright, and it is like a different kind of shade of a green. All right, so both eyes are done. I went ahead and just did this side real quick. I made sure they're somewhat even. We can always go in later on and cut a little bit more into this if we really want to, but I think this is how I'm going to keep it for now. So the next shade I'm going to go into, it's just going to be a little bit darker. We are going to go into Enchanted Forest. There's something, I don't know what that was, but it was on the little palette. we're gonna go into this kind of more darker forest green right here. I'm going to pick up a brush just like this. Little round end. We are gonna have less of this color, so you kind of want more of a little bit of a smaller brush to control, you know, the motions and everything. So we're gonna go ahead and pick up the brush with some product, and we are gonna start going underneath this right here. And I'm actually gonna move it so it's a little bit closer to me. I am going to just start placing it down lightly, so then that way we can make sure where we want to place it, and then we can just darken it up after that. And I'm just gonna grab my brush that we used for Clover right here, put some more product on, tap off any excess, and we're kind of gonna start going over the dividing line between these two greens and kind of place it over it and kind of swish and do circular motions just so we can blend these two colors together. Grab that brush and just kind of sweep. And depending on how much you want, like, the obviousness of the two colors to be, I mean, I like to have at least decently, but some people like that straight, like, cut edge. I mean, this is how I like it. If you like it to be a little bit more, like, noticeable between the two colors, that's fine. I'm actually gonna grab this little slant end brush right here to kind of help blend this area right here, since it's a little bit smaller and more narrow. So I think that's kind of how I want it right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it on the other side right here. So both the eyes are done. It's getting there, but it's not all the way there yet. I mixed these two shades together. I didn't go overboard because with these still being like, yeah, this one's kind of a lighter green than this one, but they're still both in the darker green family, like with shades and everything. So you don't want to keep, you know, blending them too much where they're going to actually start meshing together. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to start, you know, cut creasing and making, you know, to start make everything look nice and put together before we start putting down our other shades. So I'm going to grab my little flat end brush I always use for cut creasing. Got some eye primer on my hand. I'm going to start just right here, and I'm going to need more. I don't know why. So I'm just going to grab my little wand of eye primer and just sweep some off and kind of start in the inner, and we're going to see on how much of this green we want to leave, how thick we want it. I mean, I want it to be decent, but not like too much. So I think put a little bit more right here. Kind of go in, and I do have a little clean towel right here, so I can just wipe off every time before I grab some new eye primer on my brush. Just gonna sweep it because I don't want too much of that dark green, but I don't want too little either. Like right here is fine, but I think right here. So kind of like that, where there's still some there, but it's not too much. I'm gonna fix that. Okay. So that is how I want my eye. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one real quick off camera. A fluffy brush right here. And I'm gonna grab a different shade. It's gonna be a little bit lighter. I am gonna do the Leprechaun, which is right here in the palette. And I'm gonna place that in the center. So I'm gonna dab some of my brush. And I'm gonna start putting it right underneath, right in this general area. I'm gonna pack down the pigment first. And I kind of want to add kind of like a little bit of an angle, so it's like coming down like this a little bit, but not like too bad. And then we're gonna start making it bold. And later on I might bring more of that darker green, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Do it on this side. I think I'm gonna wait a little bit just to see how it all looks together. Because to make sure things are really even for both eyes, it's kind of hard to tell at first when like the whole eye look isn't like done. But once you start getting like closer, then you'll start to notice, and that's when you'd want to start like making more changes. So I have it more in the center of this look, but before, to help blend in with the other color we're going to use, I'm going to go in and use Playful, which is this one right here. It's kind of like a, it has blue, but it also has green. It's kind of like a coral turquoise kind of vibe. And I'm going to grab not a large brush, but just a small little fluffy end brush, dip it into that. And we are going to be putting this in the corner right here. Definitely that. Now I'm just packing down this color real quick right before we start blending. Alright, dip back into my Leprechaun. Now I'm going to start doing swiping motions to kind of get into Playful a little bit. So when we swipe Playful, it's going to help those colors blend well together. And just blend, 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 swipe, swipe, swipe. See, look how pretty that's like going. It's just simple swiping motions to help blend. And I'm gonna do it on this side real quick. eyes done and mixed, we are gonna go ahead and grab the Blood Money palette. I have tape right there, I don't know why. I'm gonna open it up and I'm only gonna be using one shade in here, and that is gonna be Poison Ivy, which is right here. It's kind of like the shade Leprechaun, but just a little bit, just like a little tad bit darker, not too bad. I'm gonna take my little round end brush right here. I'm gonna dip into Poison Ivy and just grab a little bit of product of that shimmer shade, not too much. And we are gonna start adding some shimmer right on top of Leprechaun and just gently tap that on there, right on the top. Do some sweeping to make sure it's really pigment on the top. That is what she looks like with the shimmer on. It's kind of hard to see, but in person you can definitely see it way better. So for the last and final step, we are going to be dipping into our Conspiracy palette, this one right here, and we are going to dip into my right is here, which is the black, and we are going to be creating a wing just to kind of help bring in everything. So I'm just going to grab my slant edge brush, dip it into, tap off any excess, and we are going to create our wing. So I definitely want to start where once it's on, this is gonna all make sense, so it's not some like blotch part with Playful with the other dark greens. So I kind of want to probably start a little bit above that. So bringing it in. And just creating that wing shape. And we are just going to bring it a little bit over here, but not too much onto the eyelid. Just a little bit to help with boldness. So that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to go do this other side real quick, get some foundation and everything, and I will be right back. Alright, so this is the final look. I ended up putting my blonde wig on. I don't know, I just like it. I don't know, I think I look better as a blonde, even though that this wig is kind of like, it's not a front lace, but I still love it. I put my little butterfly clips in there, and I put some of the blush right here with some freckles. I kind of overdid it on my forehead, so don't judge. Sometimes you just gotta like experiment when you do like fake freckles. I definitely like them right here, but I remember doing them on my forehead last time. I did a little bit, but not as much as I did. But I would love to hear your guys' opinions. Did you guys like this one? Did you not? If you did like this, please push the like button and subscribe if you're not. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.